Alright guys, so today I'm going to be talking about why I don't play DBD anymore and why I stopped enjoying it really, and some things about the game and the community that made me stop playing it. But before I get into all that, I want to thank everybody for the support on my last video. I never expected it to do anywhere as near as good as it did, and that's really because I don't really take YouTube seriously right now, if you couldn't tell. Because that was my last video, and that was almost a year ago. It's more of a side hobby to me right now, but it still means a lot to see people tune into my videos and shit like that. So I appreciate all the love and support and all the new subscribers that I got from that video and all the love I've been seeing in the comments. So I appreciate that, and thank you guys. First things first, I started watching videos of DBD before I started playing it. I started watching videos on it in 2017 when I was 12 years old. I watched people like Moncho, Noob 3, True Talent, Todd Tom, and Puppers, rest in peace, before I got into the game. I then got the game in 2018, although after I turned 13 years old. I found myself playing it all day, every day. After finish any type of school homework I had, I would just hop right on the game. I had a really good time learning it. At first, and DBD is one of those games, especially now, with all the perks and all the new killers and survivors and shit, it would take a long time, I feel to learn the game. But back then, it was a lot more simpler, if that makes sense, in my experience. So I had a lot of good time playing it. But for my first few months of the game, for the first 6 months, I played a killer a lot more than I played survivor. Honestly, if we've been honest, I played killer, strictly killer at first, to be honest. And the killer that I played was Freddy. I played Freddy a lot. He was literally the only killer I played for a long time, for 6 months. Because I was a big, as a kid, and I still am, but I was a bigger fan as a kid. I kind of grew out of it, but as a kid, I was a big fan of the slasher horror genre and shit like that. So Freddy, Myers, all that stuff, Jason, I was on it. I was a huge fan of that shit. I had my little phase and shit. So I'm sorry for all my cussing. Yeah. So I played only Freddy for 6 months. Then for that same year, 2018 Christmas, I purchased. I got a gift card for Christmas, and I got Myers, and I got Leatherface, and I got Pig. Even though Pig technically isn't a slasher killer, but I still wanted it. And yeah, I got those three, and then I stopped playing Freddy because I got bullied really bad for my first few months of playing killer. I got bullied terribly bad because I was terrible at first, and Freddy wasn't the strongest. He was actually the weakest killer at the game. He was known as the weakest killer in the game. You had to wait 7 seconds to hit, and then the pallet vacuums and shit back then. And there was just a lot of other and it was really easy to get out of the dream world. So self-care was meta back then, so they would just use that to get a skill check and etc. But yeah, I still found time to play survivor though. I jump on with friends and we'd swift for the entire night. Spend whole nights just swifting. I once had a full 24-hour gaming session with a friend of mine and her duo, and I've never done anything remotely close like that with any other game. DBD was the only game I ever done something like that with. DBD was my game. You couldn't tell me anything. I always had a good time with it, and it sort of became an escape for me. I was always down. I was always down to play it, because I was always I don't know. I was in school, I found it was hard for me to make friends. I had my three little friends from my little friend group and shit, but we all had different classes. So when I wasn't in class with them, I was always kind of by my lonely in school. So being able to make friends on the game that I loved and spend hours and hours on that game with those people, it meant a lot to me. I didn't care if I won or lost. I was just playing and enjoying the game with my friends in the beginning. Of course, I still play to win, we still play to win, but if we didn't win, it really wasn't a big deal. Sorry about that. As long as we felt like we did okay and still had some type of fun, I didn't care about that at first. As time went on, the game got a lot more competitive, and when a lot of changes started to happen and shit too. The first change that really damn, they're really doing this, that struck me that was really the ruin change in 2020. 2018, 2019, and honestly, I'm gonna throw 2020 in there. Those were like the best years of DVD, in my opinion. Those are peak DVD years. Like, those were like the times, like, you know, especially 2019. We got the Stranger Things. We had so many good chapters, and you know, 2019 was a good year for DVD. We had the Stranger Things chapter that was huge for the game, and the only chapter that was, honestly, I still feel like the only chapter is the best the best original killer chapter. I don't think original killer has been like the chapter has been that good since. Like, that was a really good chapter. But 2019 was a really good year for me and DVD, like, you know. So, but the Ruin change was like kind of like the beginning to the end of the game for me. Like, that was kind of dramatic, but that's what I'm gonna have to describe it as, you know. It was like the beginning to the end of the game for me. And to this day, like, I feel like Ruin should have just been left alone how it is. Like, they started changing a lot of shit for the sake of new players rather than like changing stuff for the experienced players. You know, they started like, yeah, that became a trend. And honestly, kind of still is a trend in the game now, you know. And then, like I said, I was gonna get into the community. There was like constant drama in the community, like 24/7, and like a lot of this shit was just like, it could be avoided. Like, and then DBD is like really divided too. Like, and a lot of games are like, I'm not saying it's always a bad thing, but like it's really toxic with DBD. Like the way the division and shit that's within the game and the community, it's really, really toxic. Like, you'll get death threats from fucking killers. I'm not gonna be that guy that's like only calling out shit for survivors. Killers do that shit too. Like, killers do that shit too. I've seen that shit. There's like, I don't know what it is with DVD. They're just like, people get so fucking fed up behind this game. It's honestly like crazy. And then a lot of these people are way older than me. Like me, I'm 19 years old, and there's like there's niggas up there like 40 and shit like that, argue with me like over camp and tunneling and shit like that, like made up terms, like telling you how to play the game. Like, how are you gonna sit here and tell this guy is a killer? His job is to kill you, regardless. As long as he's not cheating, he can do that in any way he wants. You know, even if he's been an ad, like if he's slugging you, if he's 4-man bleeds out everybody, which is an asshole and a dick move. But shit, if he wants to do that, he can fucking do it. You know, it's not cheating. His job is to kill you. You know what I'm saying? So like, I never understand. Like, you would get like, and even if you play fair, like, even if you play fair, you know, you play fair and shit. And really, a survivor's version of, like, a lot of survivors, meaning of when they say play fair, they mean like cater to their rules, you know. But like, even when you do play by those rules, you will still get shit. Like, you will still get shit on. You will still get shit from them, and that's just the truth. You can't satisfy everybody. You can't, you know. But it's just like the way people like go about things with DVD, like the constant messages if you win, like as killer, that shit gets annoying, bro. And like, if you're streaming, like they will come to your chat and just harass you and shit. Like, you could be having a good day, like you move up, it'll be hours later and they'll still be talking shit to you from a match that happened like 6 hours ago. DBD is the only game, and don't say like, oh, COD, I play COD, play Fortnite, GTA. I've had all my experiences with like toxic communities within games, and DBD is the worst one. DBD hands down is the worst one. So like, the community being really toxic, that shit like had an effect on it too. And then, like I said, and then the devs, like, I don't know, like they just weren't like, and then like they just weren't making like really good changes. And I know I sound like a broken record, but like Meta of Man, like that was meta for well, I won't say a long time, but that should have never been like, I don't think it should have got gutted the way it did, because Meta of Man was like, that shit got gutted. But like, also like, it should have, like, there was motherfuckers running, they'd run Meta of Man, Decisive Strike, Dead Hard, and then like Adrenaline or some shit, and it would be impossible to catch them, like, because they had so many second chances. Like, okay, after they got their Medal of Man up, you had to worry about, okay, like, you had to hit them. You think they got down? Nope, they got a free health state for nothing. And they didn't even have the deep wound at first. Like, they just got a free health state, you know. And then, okay, you got that out of the way. Oh nope, they still got Dead Hard. They can Dead Hard to a pallet or window, or Dead Hard to avoid a hatchet, or yeah, just whatever. So that's really another health state. Then if you pick them up, nope, you get Decisive Strike. That's another health state. And then You finally down them, and then the adrenaline. You know, it would be shit like, and that sounds like an exaggeration, but that shit gotta know him. Like, and that's just as a killer. And then as survivors, you got killers running the same shit 24/7, 4 gen perks, the strongest add-ons, the strongest killers every game in a row. Like one day I faced like a blight like 5 times back to back to back, and they basically all had the same build. They were using the same add-ons, same perks with like maybe one a perk like difference, but like, you know, or nurses and spears. Like that shit like the DBD kind of, for me, it lost its verity, if that makes sense. Like the main reason I even got like enjoyed the game at first was because of all the different stuff you could, like everything was different, like all the different builds, all the different maps, the different play styles you could do, you know, the different ways you could play it. Well, that means play styles and shit like that, you know. Teachable perks you can learn, you know, like that shit made it interesting. But then after a while, with all these crazy changes that like the devs started making and stuff, like people started like the meta, like people just started running meta 24/7, you know, and that shit got like, it lost its verity. Like same killers, you know, same perks, same play styles, you know, like that shit, you know. So I don't know, after a while it just became bittersweet for me. And honestly, there's a lot more I could get into, but like, I don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, like basically, to make a long story short, like after a while, like it just became bittersweet. Like seeing the same killers, the same toxic bullshit 24/7, and you couldn't escape it. Like you play the game and experience it. You go on Twitter, you experience it if you're active within the community. Instagram, like, but part of that is my fault because I shouldn't like get that involved with the game, where every social media app I go to I see something about it. But still, like, I don't know, man, after a while I just, you know, and even now, like, I can watch videos about DBD all day, but playing it, I just can't. Like, I don't know, I can't play it anymore. I'm sorry, I haven't played DBD consistently in about, honestly, since before that video. Because after that video, I stopped playing it, and I have no, like, I play matches here and there, but I get off. I haven't played it consistently in a long time, and I don't plan on going back. Like, they could drop a Jason Voorhees chapter right now. I'd play it for maybe, I won't lie, I'd get back into the game for about maybe a month, learn Jason, have my fun with him, and then get off of it. That's the only thing that could bring me back. I don't know. And then all my favorite content creators stopped playing. Monto doesn't play anymore. Noob 3 doesn't play anymore. If you remember Tide Time, then you're a real OG, because Tide Time, he's not like where he used to be with the game, but like, yeah, he doesn't play anymore. Puppers, he's, you know, rest in peace. And yeah, so I don't know, that's my thoughts, and that's the video. Thanks for watching, if anyone watched this, and I'm gonna try to be more consistent, but I have a lot going on behind the scenes in my life right now, so don't you know, take that with a grain of salt. So yeah, thank you for watching my video, and yeah, guys.